Hello, welcome to my channel TechQuest Learning Point. I am Bashar. Today I am going to discuss the question and answers for the exam AZ-900. I hope this discussion will help you to take the preparation for the exam AZ-900. So let's start. Question number 61. For each of the following statements, select yes if the statement is true, otherwise select no. Not each correct selection is worth 1 point. Statements. You can create a resource group inside of another resource group. An Azure virtual machines can be in multiple resource groups. A resource group can contain resources from multiple Azure regions. Answer. In the statement 1, it's not allowed to create a resource group inside of another resource group, so this is not true. In the statement 2, each resource can exist in only one resource group, so this is false. In the third statement, a resource group can be formed by multiple resources coming from different regions. The resource group only contains metadata about the resource it contains. Therefore, this statement is true. Move to the next question, question number 62. Match the cloud model to the correct advantage. Instruction. To answer, drag the appropriate cloud model from the column on the left to its advantage on the right. Each cloud model may be used one, more than one, or not at all. Note, each correct match is worth 1 point. Cloud model, hybrid cloud, private cloud, public cloud. No required capital expenditure. Provides complete control over security. Provides a choice to use on-premises or cloud-based resources. Answer. For advantages 1, we know that for a public cloud model on capital expenditure is required. You only pay for cloud resource that you use as you use them. So the answer is public cloud. For second advantages, in a private cloud or on-premises infrastructure, you have complete control over security. So in this regard, the correct answer is private cloud. In the third advantage is, we know that in a hybrid cloud, you are flexible to choose to use either public cloud resources or on-premises resources. Therefore, the correct answer is hybrid cloud. Move to the next question, question number 63. For each of the following statements, select yes if the statement is true. Otherwise, select no. Note, each correct selection is worth 1 point. Statements. With software as a service SaaS, you must apply software updates. With infrastructure as a service IaaS, you must install the software that you want to use. Azure Backup is an example of platform as a service PaaS. Answer. In the statement 1, in software as a service SaaS, no need to update the software, that is, users are not responsible for software update or maintenance. They use the software only, so this statement is not true. In the second statement, in the infrastructure as a service IaaS, users are responsible for everything except the resource such as virtual machine. User must install all software as per requirement. So this statement is true. In the statement 3, yes, Azure Backup is an example of PaaS. So this is true statement. Move to the next question, question 64. For each of the following statements, select yes if the statement is true. Otherwise, select no. Each correct selection is worth 1 point. Statements. A company can extend a private cloud by adding its own physical servers to the public cloud. To build a hybrid cloud, you must deploy resources to the public cloud. A private cloud must be disconnected from the internet. Answer. In the statement 1, it's not possible to add physical servers to the public cloud. You can only deploy virtual servers in the public cloud. You can extend a private cloud by deploying virtual servers in the public cloud. So the statement is false. In the statement 2, we know that a hybrid cloud is a combination of a private cloud and a public cloud. In order to create a hybrid cloud, you must deploy resources to a public cloud. So this statement is true. In the last statement, this is not mandatory that private cloud have to be disconnected with internet. Private clouds can be and most commonly are connected to the internet. Therefore, this statement is false. Next question. Question number 65. To complete sentence, select the appropriate option in the answer area. Azure Cosmos DB is an example of a dash offering. Option A, Platform as a Service PaaS. Option B, Infrastructure as a Service IaaS. Option C, Serverless. Option D, Software as a Service SaaS. Answer. As you know that Azure Cosmos DB is an example of a Platform as a Service PaaS cloud database provider. Therefore, the option A is correct answer. Next question. Question number 66. You have 50 virtual machines hosted on premises and 50 virtual machines hosted in Azure. The on-premises virtual machines and the Azure virtual machines connect to each other. Which type of cloud model is this? Option A, hybrid. Option B, private. Option C, public. Answer. As you know that combination of on-premises resources and public cloud resources is called hybrid cloud model. Therefore, the correct answer is option A. Next question. Question number 67. For each of the following statements, select yes if the statement is true. Otherwise, select no. Each correct selection is worth 1 point. Statements. Building a data center infrastructure is an example of operational expenditure OPEX cost. Monthly salaries of technical personnel are an example of operational expenditure OPEX cost. Leasing software is an example of operational expenditure OPEX cost. Answer. In the statement 1, as you know, building a data center infrastructure is capital expenditure, not operational expenditure. Therefore, this statement is false. In the statement 2, we know that all kinds of operating costs are defined as OPEX and staff salaries are also OPEX cost. So this statement is true. In the statement 3, the cost of the leasing a software is ongoing cost not a fixed cost and it is called OPEX, but for purchasing a software cost is fixed or one-time cost, not ongoing cost. It's called CAPEX. Therefore, this statement is true. Move to the next question. Question number 68. For each of the following statements, select yes if the statement is true. Otherwise, select no. Note, each correct selection is worth 1 point. Statements. A platform as a service PaaS solution that hosts web apps in Azure provides full control of the operating systems that host applications. A platform as a service PaaS solution that hosts web apps in Azure can be provided with additional memory by changing the pricing tier. A platform as a service PaaS solution that hosts web apps in Azure can be configured to automatically scale the number of instances based on demand. Answer. In the statement 1, we know that a PaaS solution does not provide access to the operating system. The Azure Web Apps Service provides an environment for you to host your web applications. Behind the scenes, with the web apps are hosted on virtual machines running IaaS. However, you have no direct access to the virtual machine, the operating system or IaaS. Therefore, this statement is false. In the statement 2, as it is possible to provide additional memory by changing the pricing tier. Therefore, this statement is true. In the statement 3, this solution allows us to configure to automatically scale the number of instances as per demand. This is known as auto-scaling. Behind the scene, the web apps are hosted on virtual machines running IaaS. Auto-scaling means adding more load-balanced virtual machines to host the web apps. Therefore, this statement is true. Next question. Question number 69. Your company plans to deploy several custom applications to Azure. The applications will provide invoicing services to the customers of the company. Each application will have several prerequisites, application and services installed. You need to recommend a cloud deployment solution for all the applications. What should you recommend? Option A, Software as a Service SaaS. Option B, Platform as a Service PaaS. Option C, Infrastructure as a Service IaaS. Answer, option A. As per this scenario, need to run an own app on the specified infrastructure. But you know that Software as a Service SaaS allows users to connect to and use cloud-based apps over the internet, such as an email, calendaring and office tools. Therefore, this option is not correct. Option B, Platform as a Service PaaS is a complete development and deployment environment in the cloud. PaaS includes infrastructure including servers, storage and networking. PaaS is designed to support the complete web application life cycle. Building, testing, deploying, managing and updating. Therefore, this option is not correct. Option C, Infrastructure as a Service IaaS is an instant computing infrastructure provisioned and managed over the internet. The IaaS service provider manages the infrastructure while the purchase, install, configure and manage your own software. Therefore, this option is correct answer. Next question. Question number 70. Your company plans to migrate all its data and resources to Azure. The company's migration plan states that only Platform as Service PaaS solutions must be used in Azure. You need to deploy an Azure environment that meets the company migration plan. Solution: you create Azure virtual machines, Azure SQL databases and Azure storage accounts. Does this meet the goal? Option A, yes. Option B, no. Answer: in simple, we know that if we want to create a virtual machine in a cloud, we have to deploy in Infrastructure as a Service IaaS cloud model. But this scenario, Platform as a Service PaaS is mandatory. Therefore, the correct answer is option B. Next question. Question number 71. Match the cloud computing benefits to the correct descriptions. To answer, drag the appropriate benefit from the column on the left to its description on the right. Each benefit may be used once, more than once, or not at all. Note: each correct match is worth 1 point. Benefits: agility, geo-distribution, scalability. Resources can be provisioned dynamically to meet changing demands. Applications and data can be deployed to multiple regions. Applications can be developed, tested and launched rapidly. Answer: for the first description, here the appropriate benefit will be scalability. For the second description, that is applications and data can be deployed to multiple regions, it is possible for the benefit geo-distribution. For the last description, applications can be deployed, tested and launched rapidly, is for benefit of agility. Next question. Question number 72. For each following statement, select yes if the statement is true, otherwise select no. Note: each correct solution is worth 1 point. Statement: Microsoft SQL Server 2019 installed on an Azure virtual machine is an example of Platform as a Service PaaS. Azure SQL database is an example of Platform as a Service PaaS. Azure Cosmos DB is an example of Software as a Service SaaS. Answer: in the first statement, we know that only Infrastructure as a Service as cloud model support an Azure virtual machine, so this statement is false. In the statement 2, Azure SQL database is a service platform as a service PaaS environment. So this statement is true. In the statement 3, Azure Cosmos DB is a service in platform as a service PaaS environment. So this statement is false. Next question. Question number 73. For each following statement, select yes if statement is true. Otherwise, select no. Note, each correct selection is worth 1 point. Statement. You must have physical servers to use cloud computing. You must have internet connectivity to use cloud computing. The cost to increase cloud computing capacity are less than the cost to increase the capacity of an on-premises data center. Answer. In the statement 1, in order to use the cloud computing, no need physical server, so this statement is false. In the statement 2, user have to be connected to the cloud resources through the internet, so this statement is true. In the statement 3, the cost to increase to cloud computing capacity are less than the cost to increase the capacity of an on-premises data center, because in the cloud infrastructure no need capex, user pay only as per usage. Therefore this statement is true. Next question. Question number 74. To complete the sentence, select appropriate option in the answer area. A Microsoft SQL Server database that is hosted in the cloud and has software updates managed by Azure is an example of dash. Option A. Disaster Recovery as Service DRAS. Option B. Infrastructure as a Service IaaS. Option C. Platform as a Service PaaS. Option D. Software as a Service SaaS. Answer. The correct answer is Platform as a Service PaaS. Next question. Question number 75. For each of the following statements, select yes if the statement is true. Otherwise, select no. Note, each correct selection is worth 1 point. A company can extend an internet network by adding its own physical servers to the public cloud. A private cloud must be disconnected from the internet. Part of a hybrid cloud is the public cloud. Answer. In the statement, it's not possible to add physical servers to the public cloud. You can only deploy virtual servers in the public cloud. You can extend an internal network by connecting to a public cloud. So this statement is false. In the statement 2, this is not mandatory that private cloud have to be disconnected with internet. Private cloud can be and must commonly are connected to internet. Therefore this statement is false. In the statement 3, we know that public cloud is the combination of on-premises resources and public cloud. Therefore this statement is true. Next question. Question number 76. Your company plans to migrate all its data and resources to Azure. The company's migration plan states that only platform as a service PaaS solutions must be used in Azure. You need to deploy an Azure environment that meets the company's migration plan. What should you create? Option A. Azure virtual machines, Azure SQL databases, and Azure storage accounts. Option B. An Azure app service and Azure virtual machines that have Microsoft SQL Server installed. Option C. An Azure app service and Azure SQL databases. Option D. Azure storage accounts and web server in Azure virtual machines. Answer. Since the Azure app service and Azure SQL databases are examples of Azure PaaS solutions, this solution does meet the goal. Therefore, the correct answer is the option C. Next question. Question number 77. What is the first stage in Microsoft Cloud Adoption Framework for Azure? Option A. Adopt the cloud. Option B. Make a plan. Option C, ready your organization. Option D, define your strategy. Answer: as you know that first of all we have to define strategy, then plan. Therefore the correct option is D. Next question 78. What does a customer provide in a software as a service SaaS model? Option A, application data. Option B, data storage. Option C, compute resources. Option D, application software. Answer: in a SaaS cloud model, email service is an example and user can use this service easily. They are not responsible for update or maintenance of the software, only responsible for application data. Therefore, the correct answer is option A. Next question. Question number 79. For each of the following statements, select yes if the statement is true, otherwise select no. Note, each correct selection is worth 1 point. Statements: cloud computing provides elastic scalability. Statements 2. Customers can minimize capital expenditure CapEx by using public cloud. Statement 3. Cloud computing leverages virtualization to provide service to multiple customers simultaneously. Answer: in the statement 1, obviously the cloud computing provides elastic scalability, so this statement is true. Statement 2, as the uses of public cloud reduce the capex, so this statement is true. In the statement 3 is also true. Next question, question number 80. For each of the following statements, select yes if the statement is true, otherwise select no. Note, each correct selection is worth 1 point. Statements: Azure Files is an example of infrastructure as a service IaaS. A DNS that runs on the Azure virtual machine is an example of platform as a service PaaS. Microsoft Intune is an example of software as a service SaaS. Answer: in the statement 1, Azure File Service is a storage service and runs on infrastructure as a service IaaS cloud model. Therefore, this statement is true. In statement 2, a DNS run on Azure virtual machines and Azure machine is created on infrastructure as a service cloud model. So, this statement is false. In the statement 3, obviously Microsoft Intune is a software as a service SaaS based service. So, this statement is true.